Good. Oh, almost knocked my computer over. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. My Winnie is on a little bit of a late schedule the last few days of. Right now she's higher than a kite though, so it's okay. She's been on a little late schedule with getting her puppy crazies out. Should I feel, okay, honest opinion, should I feel guilty for giving my puppy calming treats just so she's not crazy? Like, play crazy. Is it bad? Is it a bad thing for me to give her a calming treat just so she won't be so playful? I feel bad. Giving her a treat to like make her chill a little just so I can get things done. But I'm like, she's playful because she's a puppy. So I feel a little guilty drugging her. It's not drugs, it's just chamomile and whatever. It's like she ate a piece of turkey and now she's ready for a nap. Right, Weenie? And she plays very differently when she's on these calming things. She lays down and plays with a toy instead of chasing it around and jumping on the furniture and jumping over the end of the furniture and climbing on the end tables and climbing across the kitchen counter. And she just plays like a nice little girl, but I feel guilty taking her crazy playfulness away. Sort of guilty. One of us was going to have to be drugged. That's all there was to it. And for now, it's Winnie. All right, January 15th. Joseph interprets two dreams. Genesis 40, 1 through 23. Sometime later, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker offended their royal master. Pharaoh became angry with these two officials, and he put them in prison where Joseph was, in the palace of the captain of the guard. They remained in prison for quite some time, and the captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, who looked after them. While they were in prison, Pharaoh's cupbearer and baker each had a dream one night, and each dream had its own meaning. When Joseph saw them the next morning, he noticed that they both looked upset. "Why do you look so worried today?" he asked them. And they replied, "We both had dreams last night, but no one can tell us what they mean." "Interpreting dreams is God's business," Joseph replied. "Go ahead and tell me your dreams." So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his first dream. "In my dream," he said, "I saw a grapevine in front of me. The vine had 3 branches that began to bud and blossom, and soon it produced clusters of grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's wine cup in my hand, so I took a cluster of grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I placed it in Pharaoh's hand." "This is what the dream means," Joseph said. "The 3 branches represent 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift you up and restore you to your position as chief cupbearer. And please remember me and do me a favor when things go well for you. Mention me to Pharaoh so he might let me out of this place, for I was kidnapped from my homeland, the land of the Hebrews, and now I'm here in prison. I did nothing to deserve this." When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given the first dream such a positive interpretation, he said to Joseph, "I had a dream too. In my dream, there were 3 baskets of white pastries stacked on my head. The top basket contained all kinds of pastries for Pharaoh, but the birds came and ate them from the basket on my head." "This is what the dream means," Joseph told him. "The 3 baskets also represent 3 days. 3 days from now, Pharaoh will lift you up and impale your body on a pole." Bet he's sorry he asked. "Hey, Winifred!" No. "The birds will come and peck away at your flesh." Pharaoh's birthday came 3 days later, and he prepared a banquet for all of his officials and staff. He summoned his chief cupbearer and chief baker to join the other officials. He then restored the chief cupbearer to his former position so he could again hand Pharaoh his cup. But Pharaoh impaled the chief baker, just as Joseph had predicted, and when he interpreted his dream, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. "Winifred May Gundermutt, what are you doing?" I have to go get the dog. Excuse me. Come here. No, ma'am, you don't eat books, okay? Books are not for eating. And until you can read, you need to stay away from them. Come here. Come on. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Get your giraffe and chew it in the face or something. Chew its face. Here. You don't need to eat school books. Ugh. I thought you'd calm down for the morning. I thought you took a chill pill kicked in. Clearly. Oy, oy. The death of Isaac, Genesis 35, 28 through 29. Ow. Isaac lived for 180 years. Then he breathed his last and died at a ripe old age, joining his ancestors in death, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Pharaoh's dreams, Genesis 40. Ha! No! Genesis 41, 1 through 36. 2 years had passed since Joseph had interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker. 2 full years later, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing on the bank of the Nile River. In his dream, he saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and begin grazing in the marsh grass. Then he saw 7 more cows come up from behind the Nile, but these were scrawny and thin. These cows stood beside the fat cows on the riverbank. Then the scrawny, thin cows ate the 7 healthy fat cows. At this point in the dream, Pharaoh woke up. Why don't you get up in your chair? Get up there like a good Winnie. Get up there. Get me a chair. Get up in your chair. Oy, oy, oy. But he fell asleep again and had a second dream. This time he saw 7 heads of grain, plump and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, and these were shriveled and withered by the east wind. And these thin heads swallowed up the 7 plump, well-formed heads. Then Pharaoh woke up again and realized it was a dream. The next morning, Pharaoh was very disturbed by the dream, so he called for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. When Pharaoh told them his dreams, not one of them could tell him what they meant. Finally, the king's chief cupbearer spoke up. Today I have been reminded of my failure, he told Pharaoh. Some time ago you were angry with the chief baker and me, and you imprisoned us in the palace of the captain of the guard. One night, the chief baker and I each had a dream. I just spit all over myself. The chief baker and I each had a dream, and each dream had its own meaning. There was a young Hebrew man with us in the prison who was slave of the captain of the guard. We told him our dreams, and he told us what each of our dreams means. And everything happened just as he had predicted. I was restored to my position as cupbearer, and the chief baker was executed and impaled on a pole. Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once, and he was quickly brought from the prison. After he shaved and changed his clothes, he went up and stood before Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream last night. No one here can tell me what it means. But I have heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it. It is beyond my power to do this, Joseph replied, but God can tell you what it means and set you at ease. So Pharaoh told Joseph his dream. In my dream, he said, I was standing on the bank of the Nile River, and I saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and began grazing in the marsh grass. But then I saw 7 sick-looking cows, scrawny and thin, come up after them. I have never seen such sorry-looking animals in all the land of Egypt. These thin, scrawny cows ate the 7 fat cows, but afterwards you wouldn't have known it, for they were still as thin and scrawny as before. Then I woke up. In my dream, I also saw 7 heads of grain, full and beautiful, growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these were blighted, shriveled, and withered by the east wind. And the shriveled heads swallowed the 7 healthy heads. I told these dreams to the magician, but no one could tell me what they meant. Joseph responded, both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. God is telling Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The 7 healthy cows and the 7 healthy heads of grain both represent 7 years of prosperity. The 7 thin, scrawny cows that came up later and the 7 thin heads of grain, withered by the east wind, represent 7 years of famine. This will happen just as I have described it, for God has revealed to Pharaoh in advance what he is about to do. The next 7 years will be a period of great prosperity throughout the land of Egypt, but afterwards there will be 7 years of famine so great that all prosperity will be forgotten in Egypt. Famine will destroy the land. This famine will be so severe that even the memory of the good years will be erased. As for having 2 similar dreams, it means that these events have been decreed by God, and he will soon make them happen. Therefore, Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man to put him in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh should appoint the supervisors over the land and let them collect 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 good years. Have them gather all the food produced in the good years that are just ahead and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouses. Store it away and guard it there so the food will be in the cities. That way there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come to the land of Egypt. Otherwise, this famine will destroy the land. Joseph made ruler of Egypt. Genesis 41:37 through 57. Joseph's suggestions were well received by Pharaoh and his officials. So Pharaoh asked his officials, "Can we find anyone else like this man, so obviously filled with the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has revealed the meaning of this dream to you, clearly no one else is as intelligent or wise as you are. You will be in charge of my court, and all of my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on my throne, will have a rank higher than yours." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I hereby put you in charge of the entire land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in fine linen clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck. Then he had Joseph ride in the chariot reserved for his second in command. And wherever Joseph went, the command was shouted, "Kneel down." So Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of all of Egypt. And Pharaoh said to him, "I am Pharaoh, but no one will lift a hand or a foot in the entire land of Egypt without your approval." Then Pharaoh gave Joseph a new Egyptian name, Zaphanath-Paneah. He also gave him a wife whose name was Asenath, whatever. She was the daughter of Potiphar, the priest of On. So Joseph took charge of the entire land of Egypt. He was 30 years old when he began serving in the court of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And when Joseph left Pharaoh's presence, he inspected the entire land of Egypt. As predicted, for 7 years the land produced bumper crops. During these years, Joseph gathered all the crops grown in Egypt and stored the grain from the surrounding fields in the cities. He piled up huge amounts of grain like sand on the seashore. Finally, he stopped keeping records because there was too much to measure. During this time, before the first of the famine years, 2 sons were born to Joseph and his wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, the priest of On. Joseph named his older son Manasseh, for he said, "God has made me forget all of my troubles and everyone in my father's family." Joseph named the second son Ephraim, for he said, "God has made me fruitful in this land of my grief." At last, the 7 years of bumper crops throughout the land of Egypt came to an end. The 7 years of famine began, just as Joseph had predicted. The famine struck all the surrounding countries, but throughout Egypt there was plenty of food. Eventually, however, the famine spread throughout the land of Egypt as well. And when the people cried out to Pharaoh for food, he told them, "Go to Joseph and do whatever he tells you." So with the severe famine everywhere, Joseph opened up the storehouses and distributed grain to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe throughout the land of Egypt. And the people from all around came to Egypt and to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe throughout all the world. Okay. What do you do? She had that toy. That's when I think the calming things kick in, is when she just walks around like that. Her eyes get droopy. It's hysterical. Good girl. All right. We are on page 136. We'll come back to Peter's suggestion about building tents in a moment. This is a mysterious scene, to be sure, but there are at least a few reasons I'm grateful we get to read about it. Number one, I'm grateful we're reminded through the appearance of Elijah and Moses, the audible voice of God the Father, and the glory of the Holy Spirit, that our God is not separate from the God of the Israelites. The Trinity has been one from the beginning. Jesus was not absent from the Old Testament, though he is fully revealed in the New Testament, and our God is the same God worshipped by these heroes of the faith. Number two, I'm grateful he took the disciples in the midst of their confusion and showed their souls with their brains what their brains could not quite compute. I'm grateful God knows and adjusts to our limitations. When our faith fails us and we need to experience something with our own eyes, he provides. I bet they remembered the experience for the rest of their lives. Finally, I'm grateful for this one sentence from our Father via the cloud above them. "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." Matthew 17:5. Did you notice how just before that moment, Peter defaults to what he can do for God in the midst of being shown an incredible why? We have Jesus, full of glory and splendor, talking to Moses and Elijah. And instead of falling on his knees to worship, the ultimate why, Peter is trying to set up camp. Peter is tempted to do something when he could simply be in awe of someone. He skipped right over the why of this matter and instead thinking about what to do. Perhaps because doing is too often our default mode. But Jesus didn't want Peter to do anything. He simply wanted him to witness and worship. Stop right there. Right, Sarah? I mean, might need something that's a little less simple to buy at PetSmart, if you know what I'm saying. Dog nip. Praying for you, Rita. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think there will be a famine like that again in all the world? God promised he would never send a flood again over the whole world, but I don't know. I mean, I think the end times that talks about wars and rumors of wars, we got that. There's famine in lots of countries. There's, I don't know. Our meds kicking in, Winnie. She sees all the pretty colors. Those things really do work. Once they kick in, they really, really do work. They're called. Sorry, I don't know what you just got sent, Melissa. I think it's my guide to calm. They are called Zesty Paws calming treats, calming bites. So they're for calmness, composure, and relaxation. They have some melatonin in them, a small amount. They've got L-theanine, chamomile, I want to say it said tryptophan or something. Maybe it's L-theanine that I was thinking of. These ones are not like hemp or CBD. They're meant for either Rita. It says not for human consumption. The tree kicked in. I don't know if you can see her over there by that door. Can you see her? I feel guilty as heck, but she has ripped every one of my sweatshirts, my leggings. Like when she's awake and playful, she's wild. And when I'm throwing the ball for her, it's all good. I don't mind her being wild and racing and tearing. And I mean, she's a puppy. That's what she does. When she's wild, it's okay. I'm okay with her being wild. But there are moments when I have things to do. And I have to be able to so they don't like knock her out all the time. They just make her like, she's kind of like, what are the guys in the car that smoke? What are their names? Who am I thinking of? That's kind of what she acts like. They weren't cheap, Melissa. They were like $35 for a container, but they've got like 50 in them, and she can have up to 3 a day. I give her one in the morning and sometimes one in the afternoon, but not always. Rita. It says they're not for human consumption, but there's nothing in them like, oh, why not? Although they're made of turkey, they might taste kind of gross. Like, who wants a turkey chew for breakfast? Cheech and Chong, yeah. Right now, she's laying full body across my robo vacuum. I don't know, whatever. As long as she just is just. We need a little calm in the mornings. Mom has things to do. All right, girls. I'm sorry, Rita. I'm so sorry. I'm praying for you. Let's go ahead and close in prayer, and then I'm going to go live and make some brekkie. I think I should have looked at my calendar first just to make sure I didn't have an appointment, because that would be terrible. Not terrible if I had an appointment, but terrible if I told you I was going to go live and then I just ditched you all. That would be rude. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. All right. God, our Father, we thank you for our time together here. Thank you for joy and laughter, and thank you for connection with these ladies as we all draw together in your word. God, I lift up Rita to you. She had a rough night, and you know all the details. You intricately know what she's going through, and I just ask you to bring her peace that passes understanding, that just calms her and assures her of your presence. God, I know lots of concerns here today. I continue to lift up Karen with the loss of her sister. Just bring her continued peace. We lift up Joe to you as he is either home or prepares to go home, for peace and comfort for him as he walks through this. I pray for Precious Grace and Nadia as they walk through hospice care with little Grace. And we just ask for peace to surround all of them. You are the great physician. I just ask for comfort for them during this difficult time. God, as we go through this day, I pray that you would help us to make choices that are healing and strengthening to our bodies. In your precious name, amen. All right, girls. If you don't know Nadia, she is a THMer, Nadia Mutana. She has a Facebook page, and she has like 6 kids, I think. And her youngest has some disabilities and also has cancer and has been sent home on hospice and has been given only a few days. But God is bigger and greater, and I just pray for her as she pray for Nadia, pray for Grace and all of her brothers and sisters. Very, very difficult. I'm sure. I can't just imagine what they're going through. So Nadia is a very strong, very, very strong woman of faith, and knows that Grace, she says Grace is not dying. She is going to live because she will be walking with Jesus. And she's very like, but I still know her heart is breaking. So just pray for her. All right, girls, I am going to get myself together and make something layered. I can't decide. I kind of want to just make another. So yesterday I did a reel making a hot honey chicken lasagna. I called it a lasagna, but like a bowl. And it was so flipping good. And I have enough ingredients left to make it again. And I know not everybody sees the reels. So I thought about making that this morning because I want to eat it again. That's how good it was. So you know what? Maybe I just will do that. Hot honey chicken lasagna. I mean, lasagna is probably not the best word to describe it because there's no noodles. Tortilla bake. I don't know. Whatever it is, it was delicious and I want to make it again. So I think I'm going to make it for breakfast. So I hope you'll join me. I'll be live in just a few minutes. If you don't join me, why not? But secondly, it's okay. And I will see you tomorrow for devotions. I love you guys. Have a great day.